City! Hello guys, how are you getting on? My name is Aaron Kelly and welcome back to another episode of the Premier League Verdict. I hope you guys have had a good day. Two things are for certain that have definitely come out of match week 21, and it's that really it's Manchester City's title to lose. By the way, that's actually the legit title of a video I made in and around a year ago, so goes to show you, not much changes in a year sometimes. And also, it doesn't matter who's at the wheel, Manchester United are still shit. We'll talk about this and more in this week's episode of The Verdict, but before we get into anything, guys, if you haven't already, I'd love to ask you to subscribe to the Aaron Kelly channel if you've not already. We're going for the jugular this year. We're going for 1,000 subscribers, alright? I know I said it last year, but we're going to do it this year. We are, right? Hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell as well so you're notified about every single time I upload. There's going to be lots of new videos coming on the channel in 2022, and you guys aren't ready. That's all I'm going to say. Once again, the verdict graphic is up in front of us with our green box signifying the performance of the week, our yellow box with the wow, shocking moment of the week, and the red box with the stinker of the week. I'm sure you've gathered that by now, 21 episodes into season 5. We're going to kick things off with our green box as usual, ladies and gentlemen. Our performance of the week, I'm going to give it to Wolverhampton Wanderers, who picked up their first ever Premier League win over Manchester United at Old Trafford. An unbelievable night for Bruno Lage's side. It was a late, great goal by João Moutinho to wrap up the points for Wolves, who were absolutely excellent, and really 1-0 didn't flatter them. There's certainly been question marks over the performances of Ralf Rangnick's Manchester United since he's come in, but this has got to be the worst so far. Like, they've been so far, you'd have to say, getting away with poor performances here and there, but goodness me, they did not get away with anything last night against Wolves at Old Trafford. We'll talk about Manchester United in a minute, but we are going to talk about Wolves because they were just absolutely wonderful. The midfield players, the little intricate passing, the wing backs, Semedo and Marcel absolutely bombing down the sides. Jimenez holding up the play, giving Varane no time to think about anything other than himself. I mentioned it already, but those little intricate passing plays from the likes of Neves, Moutinho, Trincao, Daniel Podence was absolutely wonderful. It's the best I've seen Daniel Podence ever play in a Wolves shirt. And I'd love to be able to compliment the back three, Kilman, Saiss and Cody, but realistically, they didn't have much to do, and Jose Sa, with the few shots he had to save, was solid, and he has been all season. Obviously, there was huge question marks about how Wolves were going to perform this season. It's their first season back in the Premier League without Nuno. Goodness me, they have really outperformed themselves. I really do think so. They have a really talented squad, but Bruno Lage has got them back playing with that swagger that they really had under Nuno Espirito Santo, and it was absolutely wonderful to watch. And what a winning goal it was by João Moutinho. A wonderful strike into the bottom corner, and a well-deserved win that I think puts Wolves within touching distance of Manchester United in the table now. I could be wrong in saying that, but I think it's 3 or 4 points. As for United, an absolute shambles for Ralf Rangnick. I think questions definitely have to be asked of him. The fact that he's gone and played a 4-4-2 when this squad have never really played a 4-4-2. David De Gea was in goal. The one change to the back four being that Harry Maguire is out, so Phil Jones came back in for his first game in 2 years, and I have to say, he did really, really well. I think he was actually Manchester United's best player. Do you know why? Because he showed a bit of guts. Because he looked like he actually wanted to be there. He was throwing himself in front of blocks, in front of tackles. Was he at fault for the winning goal? Probably. Like, let's not beat around the bush here. The cross comes in. His header should go behind him. Put it out for a corner if you have to. But he heads it straight to the edge of the box. And João Moutinho meets it beautifully on the volley. And it's unfortunate for Phil Jones because he had a really good game. And I'm sure now, because of that mistake, whenever Harry Maguire is back, he will be back in the starting 11. Even though Harry Maguire has been utterly shambolic all season. The midfield pairing was absolutely shocking. Matic and McTominay just got completely outrun. No creativity out wide really from Greenwood or Sancho. And Cavani and Ronaldo were absolutely feeding off scraps. Did nothing there to work on, to be quite honest. And it was, I'm sure, a very, very tough night for them. Cavani worked hard. Nothing came off him though. He didn't really get any chances. Really the best chance I can think United had in the game was that Bruno Fernandes chance. When he came on where he hits the bar, like, he has to score that. Like, he absolutely has to score that. Squandered, but Manchester United in the absolute stinker. I didn't give them the stinker box this week because I wanted to give Wolves the absolute credit they deserve for a fabulous performance and a fabulous win at Old Trafford. Yellow box for the week then, and I'm going to give it to the game at Stamford Bridge, particularly the first half at Stamford Bridge between Chelsea and Liverpool. Obviously a vital top of the table clash. Manchester City had just beaten Arsenal. More on that later. And you know, it was an important game for Liverpool and Chelsea. A win was really all that was needed for both sides, especially now that both sides have players going off to the African Cup of Nations. Obviously, Edouard Mendy, Hakim Ziyech gone for Chelsea, Sadio Mane, Mo Salah and Naby Keita all gone for Liverpool. But that did not stop them from producing an unbelievable display. A terrible start by Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea started the game off with great tempo, but went 2-0 down inside the first 20-25 minutes, and it was two really bad mistakes. The first from Trevoh Chalobah, leading to Sadio Mane. I personally, I could be talking from a biased standpoint, I don't think Sadio Mane should even have been on the pitch to score that goal in the first place. I think he should definitely have been sent off for the elbow on Azpilicueta after like 10 seconds. And I do think the only thing that saves Sadio Mane from being sent off is the fact that it is only 10 seconds in, which isn't really a valid excuse in my book. Mo Salah made it 2-0 then, just making absolute bits of Marcus Alonso, but we kind of knew that was going to happen. Rudiger was caught out of position, and really I didn't think Mendy should be beaten as near post quite as easily as he was. But Liverpool took a 2-0 lead, and really I thought at that game over, I thought I really started to fear for Chelsea that it could be an embarrassing day. But a lifeline, Marcus Alonso's free kick swung into the box, Caoimhin Kelleher punches away, and Mateo Kovacic meets it on the volley, flush, an unbelievable goal in off the post from about 20-25 yards out. A fantastic strike, and arguably I would say one of the best, if not the best goal I've seen at Stamford Bridge for many years. Genuinely, I said it at the time, I think that's the best goal scored at Stamford Bridge since Michael Essien against Barcelona, and it was a similar goal on the volley, but an unbelievable strike from Mateo Kovacic, who I need to give a special mention to him and N'Golo Kante, because they were both absolutely wonderful. Chelsea's momentum then flew, and Christian Pulisic made it 2-2 with a brilliant finish. Rudiger wins the tackle off Salah, Kante a little ball over the top, and Pulisic meets it on the left-footed volley into the top corner to make it Chelsea 2, Liverpool 2. The second half then kind of slowed up a little bit, unfortunately. Chelsea still having the better of it, and I still do think Chelsea deserved to win the game. And obviously the headlines beforehand were talking about the whole Lukaku situation, the fact that Thomas Tuchel did drop Romelu Lukaku, and for that I have to say, fair fucking play to Thomas Tuchel. Not many managers could show that kind of balls to drop their, main man. The £97 million man before a must-win game over Liverpool. You're taking off your main, goal threat and not playing him in the game. And I have to say, Thomas Tuchel has handled this absolutely brilliantly. And if anything, this Lukaku situation has just brought the Chelsea fandom even closer together and in support of Thomas Tuchel. But in the end, a draw between Chelsea and Liverpool is not a good result for either, and for me, I think at this point, you've got to be looking at the title race and saying there isn't one at this point. I think it's 10 points Manchester City are now clear, and I think in bygone years, when it wasn't this incredibly strong a Manchester City squad, you would be looking at the title race and thinking maybe still Liverpool and Chelsea might have a chance here. But you're talking about Manchester City slipping up a couple of times between now and the end of the season, and really Liverpool and Chelsea would have to win every single game between now and the end of the season, and I just don't see that happening. But anyway, a great game nonetheless, and it was a great advertisement for Premier League football, and it gets the yellow box in the verdict for this week. Speaking of Manchester City, as I said, they went 10 points clear with a 2-1 win over Arsenal, but I'm not going to give Arsenal the stinker box, because it's honestly the best I've seen Arsenal play for years. Genuinely, 4 years. It was an unbelievable performance. They actually deserved to win the game, I think. Manchester City just showed that resilience of champions that, you expect from them. A late Rodri goal, a really shitty goal it was to win the game for Manchester City. All of that after Saka had given Arsenal the lead. It was an equalising penalty then from Riyad Mahrez. Arsenal will have felt they should have had a penalty as well when Odegaard was taken down by Ederson. But the stinker of the week goes actually to Arsenal's centre-back, Gabriel Magalhaes, who was sent off in the second half for just an array of stupid decisions, really. Starting off with the penalty that was awarded to Manchester City, Bernardo Silva, I think, is fouled by Granit Xhaka. It's probably a little bit soft. He's probably already on the way down, but in my opinion, it's still a penalty. Riyad Mahrez converts it, but Gabriel was booked for trying to dig up the penalty spot. You've seen the tactic used before, and you've seen it work sometimes before. I actually remember one Southampton playing Tottenham a couple of years back, where I don't know if it was Ward-Prowse or someone like that trying to dig up the penalty spot, and Harry Kane absolutely skied it. That wasn't the case with Mahrez, though. Aaron Ramsdale, by the way, was also trying to dig up the penalty spot and got exposed for it in his post-match presser, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. But Gabriel's first booking came from trying to dig up the penalty spot. Okay, you're treading on thin ice now, you've got to be careful. It's a bit of a silly booking to give away. Then Arsenal go up the other end, and Laporte nearly heads one in over Ederson. Ake clears it off the line, and Martinelli misses an open goal. From the resulting goal kick, Ederson kicks it long, and Gabriel just completely hauls Gabriel Jesus to the ground. The game at 1-1 at this point, of course, as well, and a second booking in a matter of minutes for Gabriel Magalhaes. An absolutely hectic few minutes in the game in general. And he kind of let himself and his team down there, because I do think that with the game still at 11v11, I do think that Arsenal still would have had a chance of winning the game, because, you know, they were well in it. Obviously, it was a bit of a gut punch to lose that goal from the penalty spot from Mahrez, but Gabriel just completely let his team down there. Completely brain dead decision. But it was definitely a performance that Arsenal can look on with great pride, and I do think if they continue to perform like this, they will comfortably finish in the top 4. And, you know, it's going to be a tough ask for them. Obviously, Tottenham are coming into good form now under Conte. West Ham kind of dropped off a bit, but they're still picking up wins. And United, I mean, we've already talked about them, but, you know, I mean, you can throw your hat at them perhaps at this point. But a really, really good performance from Arsenal, and one they can certainly be proud of, and certainly one that they can look at building on moving forward for the rest of the season. Alright boys, that is where I'm going to wrap it up. A very eventful weekend of Premier League action. Obviously there's going to be no Premier League next week with FA Cup action, so there's going to be no verdict, but I am hopefully going out to record January or December recreations rather, tomorrow or the next day, so that should be fun. I will get it out in time this time. I was getting a bit of stick the other day for not getting it out in time, the last episode, but it will happen this time. Alright, the grind is gonna keep going this year. We ain't gonna stop. But anyway lads, if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. I've been trying to find a way to make